This will be a video about when to peen the scythe. And right here we are at the Måla meadow in Sweden, which we have mowed professionally for I think 16 years now. My team is right behind me, and we will ask them a little bit how the status of their scythes is after a while. If you have a new blade, it's time to peen for sure. How we test this is you can take your thumbnail, and press it. If anything happens to the very utmost millimeter, if it bends, it's enough thin, but this is not thin. You can also test this on the cap of the jig, and it's only like a big bulge that comes here. So nothing really happens actually. I can also look on a new blade. There is a grinding, very short grinding bevel in a steep angle here. You can see it with your bare eyes as a light reflection from the above, and also from underneath there is a small angle here. If you have such angles, especially here on the underside, if there is an angle from the honing stone or as a new blade, you need to remove this. If it comes from the honing stone, you are honing in the wrong way. We can have a look at my blade here. I peened it this morning actually. So when I go with a honing stone, if you just use the edge like this on the honing stone, you will see how the thin metal is bending here. If you still see this, that is really easily bulging up under the honing stone, it says that it's not time to peen. If it's not sharp, it's because you haven't honed enough, probably. I can look with my thumb here. It's still bulging up, so this is not time to peen. And I can have a look here on the cap, and you can see how it smoothly follows the metal. The metal is bending under here. You can feel the bevel, how thin it is and how long it is. I would regard this as like 5-6 millimeters, and that's quite a long one because it's really newly peened. We can have a look at I just brought one more blade here. I think this is something in between. It feels a little bit more blunt, not so long bevel. I can have a look here. It bulges up a lot more than the new blade. Yeah, I can press it a little bit with my thumbnail as well. But I think maybe just a little peening on the really edge would be nice here. When you are mowing, you also feel when it's lose sharpness really fast. So if you use your fine stone and you don't feel it get really sharp, and then you start to use the coarse stone, you use it more often and you start to hone with some force, and it just lose its sharpness all the time, that's a sign that it's time to peen. Also, when the stone damages, it's not really possible to bend back. That's a good sign as well. How long and how much can you mow between each peening? That depends a lot. I'm professional, I worked with this for 15 years. I really know how to not remove so much metal with my honing stones and still keep it sharp for a long time. Usually I mow maybe 8 hours before next peening. This means also I'm repairing all the stone damage really proper. If it's just the slightest bending, I just bend it back with a honing stone. If you have a steep angle, or you have too coarse stone that you use very much, you need perhaps to go peening again after just a couple of hours sometimes. Because then you remove the really nice cutting edge here really fast. When we mow for like 3 months each year, so then it's nice to not peen so often. In some cases, I mean, if you are not mowing so much with the scythe, if you just have a small meadow on your lawn, it can be good to remove quite a lot of metal, because then you can practice peening more often. To use a thing like this can be really useful. Especially when looking at the small angles of the honing stone. It's a good before you peen actually, to see, especially on this side, if you have started to hone with an angle. If you have start to hone with an angle, it's really good to peen before you change angle. If you realize it's wrong, because if you have too steep and you change it, you will not reach the final tip with the honing stone. So like change your way of honing after peening. Often it's in this area where you have your fingers in the way, it tends to be a steeper angle. It's really, really good to have a look. On this blade I see it's a really professional person have been mowing, because it's the honing stone have come like the final 3-4 millimeters here, really smooth. Okay, let's go and have a look on the other guys on their bevels and peenings, if it's time to peen. Hello Tree, can we have a look at your scythe? Mm-hmm. When did you peen last time?
I did a light peening yesterday.
Yesterday, okay. So now you have done how many hours approximately, I think?
4 or 5.
4 or 5, so that's pretty much still. No damages that I can feel. This, it's really good. So we start to see if I can press it with my thumb, and it actually bulges up a little bit under my thumb. So this feels really thin still.
Yeah.
I can try to also press with a honing stone. Yeah, I can see it really, the metal follows under here all the way. So this is still in good condition and does not need any peening. And really sharp. Can we have a look at your edge, Jonas?
Yeah.
A couple of hours since you peened, perhaps.
Yeah. Yes.
It feels a little bit more blunt than Ty's blade. If I press my thumbnail here, nothing really happens. So I would say this is soon time to peen, and this is stone damages. And that's also a sign if you can repair stone damages or not. That's a sign when it's time to peen. So we can try here. Fold them back, and I need to go here with some force, but this was folded back, so there was no problem. Okay, Eskil, what do you know about your blade?
Nothing. I just picked it up
Okay.
from the fence. I'm trying it.
So,
it feels alright.
Yeah. What we can see here is the bevel is pretty wide still. It's like this 5-6 millimeters, so that's usually enough. You can also see this above line from the silver cap from the pinning jig, and the underline here from the golden cap. And it's this underline from the golden cap that's been removed when honing. You can also see this line is from the honing stone. Here it starts to be a little bit wide. It's like 1.5 millimeter. And the thinner it is, the shorter this line is, of course, and the less force you need to have with the honing stone to get it sharp. So here I would say it's pretty blunt and hard actually. Here you need to go pretty hard with the honing stone to get it sharp. It moves actually. You can see when I get pressure, you see that the metal is bending just here. So it's still, I mean, it has some time to go. This blade is really even. You see there is like no cracks, no damages, not a single thing, which means you don't benefit of like going really a lot with a coarse stone to remove all these things. So I would say pretty soon it's time to peen this one again, because if you go just more and more with a coarser stone and you get more and more pressure with it, you have more or tougher peening to do, because it's more and more blunt. The less blunt it is when you go peening, the more easy peen you will have. When did you peen?
Like maybe 3 hours ago.
3 hours ago?
Yeah,
Okay.
I reckon. Then
Yeah.
I had a bit of a damage here, so I just...
Yeah, we can see that
Fixed it.
it has been damaged a little bit here.
Yeah, and it's
So-
been... I've struggled today
Yeah.
for some reason.
But did you peen this damages
Only with the gold one.
only with the gold one?
Yeah.
But was just now or?
Yeah, just now.
Yeah. Okay. And it looks pretty long still.
Yeah.
4, 5 or 5, 6 millimeters maybe. I can press it. It feels much thinner than the last blades, which means you have been gentle with the honing stone,
Yeah.
and like taking care of the really thin material out here that you had.
But I've been struggling with like the whole edge just folding over, so I've just gone with
Okay.
the honing stone all the time. Like
All the time, yeah. You need to do
Yeah.
when it's really thin. But on the other hand, it's
quite frustrating.
it's sharp, yeah.
Yeah, it's sharp.
You can see how the metal moves. If you're really skillful, I mean, you can have this feeling for 4, 5, 6 hours. We just go with the fine honing stone. If you're just careful to take care of this really fine edge, the thinner the edge is, the lower pressure you can apply and still just get it super sharp. Does it feel sharp?
Yeah, yes. I have a few old damages, but I fixed them pretty good, I think.
Yeah. How long time since you peened last time, approximately?
Oh, about maybe 3-4 hours, maybe.
3-4 hours.
3 maybe.
Yeah. 3 hours, and it's still. You can see the bevel here. It's pretty wide still.
It was very thin when I had peen,
Okay.
so I started very thin.
Yeah.
This time.
And
a bit too much, maybe.
but what we see here is that you have a really not steep, but a very flat angle of the honing stone. So you can see scratches from the honing stone all the way up here. I think this is good, as because if it had steeper, you had been eaten up the cutting edge much faster. It's a gentle honing, and you have been taking care of the bevel and the edge really nice, skillful. It's still really thin, but you have done already 3 hours. If I really press hard with my thumb, I can still, you see, I can still make a damage in the edge here with the thumb. Also on the underside, you can see like 2 lines. First one line from here to here after the silver golden, or the silver cap from the peening jig, and then from here outwards you can see a line after the golden cap. So yeah, it's a really good way of using a blade, I would say. Nice, thank you.